and very to the point, be going through our new Max Living book, The Five Essentials to Real Health. So a couple of things as we go through this. I really just want to tell you that what I'm doing is quoting out of the book and with the specific intention of maybe having thought-provoking comments or just helping maybe stimulate you in a way to look at your health differently, or apply or implement some things that you know that you should do or want to do, or maybe feel more comfortable doing as people around you are doing them as well. But I thought it's pretty cool. We're 2 weeks into this announcement. We're doing the very first recording, and 2 weeks in, we've gone through over 300 people have picked up a book with the intention of reading and investing in themselves. And really, I think that's the way that this kicks off. Chapter 1 of the book, it says, America has lost its way. The greatest wealth is health. And yet, as you probably already know, America has the lowest health of any first world country. Depending on which studies you read, averaging 37th in the world in overall health. In fact, just absolutely abysmal. Highest healthcare spending in the world, lowest health outcomes, most chemicals allowed in food. 75% of all pharmaceutical costs are spent in America alone, yet we only make up 4% of the world's population. I mean, you've probably heard some of these statistics already, but regardless of those statistics, those are large statistics. In my opinion, the statistics that matter are the statistics for you, the statistics for your family. And really that comes back to the way that you see yourself, the way that you view the world through. Dr. Kyle this morning was talking to our team about, it's estimated that the average person sees over 30 hours of pharmaceutical commercials, even if they only watch a small amount of TV every day. And those are in 45-second increments or whatever. And you've all seen them where there's all these wonderful effects. And then right at the end, this very rapid breath with dozens of side effects, and consult your doctor and all that kind of stuff. But really, what's it come back to? How do you see the world? Do you see yourself as someone who waits to see if they have bad luck, get a disease, degenerate, break down? Do you expect to break down? Do you expect to have poor health? Or do you see yourself through a lens of value, investing in yourself, looking for ways to fuel your body, prevent disease, prevent degeneration, build your immune system so that you're not so afraid of germs, but know that your body can handle fighting off most, if not all, infections that you come in contact with. And really, one of my favorite things to think of it is looking at, can you influence your genetics? Because the reality is you can influence your genetics positively or negatively. And in fact, one of the lines that I like, and they're bolded in this first chapter, but it says, you can't expect success from a failed principle. The whole idea that a medication is going to, not that it can't save the day, save your life, but ultimately waiting too long, allowing your body to break down. And then the second thing says, is more medicine the answer? And I think everybody, even that's watching this, knows that. But yet, one of the frames as you go into chapter 2 discusses what they call a sick care system. And certainly, as many of you know, my wife is a nurse. I have tons of people that I would consider close personal friends that are doctors, nurses in the healthcare system, actively working to save lives, help people live better. But while the person may be radically focused on care and compassion and passion and all those things, the system itself is really set up. If you have a test done, and go to your primary doctor and test this. But if you have a test done and it shows anything outside of normal variables, most people get recommended a prescription. In fact, now with AI and all this, many doctors and practitioners are just told what's supposed to be recommended. It's a system where there's a drug or in many cases, a thing that's done that really masks a symptom. It does not address the root cause of the problem. And if you're not a root cause focused person, there's a much higher chance that you're going to end up with significant health issues that won't be solved and often are compounded. And the only other thing I would say about chapter 2 is sadly, insurance and health care primarily covers drugs and the traditional medical system, even though we know that that's not the way to build health. It may be necessary in a crisis, it may be life-saving, but if you're really looking to change your life, feel better, live better, there's so many parameters, everything from what you're putting in your body weight, your joint function, your neurologic function, your quality of sleep, your stress levels, your exercise routines, the amount of toxins that you come in contact with. And as many of you know and have heard many times, but what I think is one of the crazy things is America is the only known country that the number one toxin consumed in America is medication. There's so much medication consumed, and every medication is in some way a chemical. And so while they might be necessary and you might need to be taking your medication, medication is the number one toxin consumed in America today, which is pretty scary to think about. Chapter 3 then, and the last one for part 1, chapter 3 starts to talk about, the power within you. How does your body work? Do you trust your God-given or innate ability for your body to heal itself? And one of the first examples in chapter 3 that I love and that I think is so polarizing right now is looking at a fever. A fever is designed, or the purpose of a fever is to kill an infection. So your body raises your body temperature specifically to kill the infection, to stop the multiplication of the thing that could harm you, make you sick, or kill you. And yet so many people right now, and you'd have to check this for yourself, if you know that somebody has a fever, is your first objective to break it. Because if you're breaking the fever, you're actually likely making yourself or your child or whoever you're breaking that fever for sick longer. You're actually putting them more at risk in most cases. Fevers need to be broken in life-saving interventions. They need to be broken potentially over 104 or 105 degrees, but breaking especially 100, 101, 2, 3 fevers, you actually could be doing more harm than good. And so how do you look at your body's natural defenses? Do you look at them as a way for your body to be doing the right thing at the right time? Or do you look at them with fear and use drugs and medications to treat them? Because there is a reality that the majority of symptoms, they're warning signs. And so it's a warning sign that your body's not functioning properly. And so if you, again, this is a self-test, when you get a symptom, do you look for a way to cover it up? Do you go to your doctor and have them give you something to cover it up? Or do you look for the overall root cause of the problem? Because I believe strongly, and I would tell you again, you have to decide what you believe, but you've been given an innate intelligence that your body knows the right thing to do at the right time, given the right conditions. If you continually look for the source or the cause of the problem, your body can heal from so many different things, which is why I think people, when they make this mental shift, can really, like I said, not only live better, but long-term, you're going to feel better. You're not going to break down as much. You're not going to have as much chronic disease. There's so many positives of making this shift, which you either already have, and this is just preaching to the choir right now, or you're in the process of making. When you look at, am I always looking at the root cause of the problem? Am I looking at my body's natural defenses, and how can I support those to live and feel better? I hope you have a very